basically this is the course, so this is the main interface. So it's roughly about, okay, what is this subject, and then about the instructor, and then this is the course outline. So everything is inside here. So how you going to explore the next thing? Actually, it's very easy. So you just go to the post. So actually, one post, they will come out with something like the introduction. Actually, it's followed by the outline here. We have one is the outline, number two is the first order, second is second order for number three, and so on. So the topic you arrange according to this. Okay. So let's say one post actually is something like, we can give the student on the special message. The message on the student, let's say, so this is the pre-lessons. So maybe I want them to be more better in the differentiation or integration skills. So this is what I just give the title about the first post, because they will go for the first introduction, and then next I will ask them to do something like, okay, the iBooks. Let's say I just ask them to do the iBooks. So this is the first order differential equation. So maybe they can just go to download it and then try to read the kickstart chapter. So it's just like the textbook, the iBooks here. And then next one, once they read, maybe I can think like I can guide them. Maybe I ask them to do some review tutorial. So this is a review tutorial. I ask them to practice on some like the integration skill or whatever the things here. So they can just do the practice here. They can do some exercise. Of course, they can use like the apps here, like the Show Me. They can do some written writings on the answer on the iPads. And then while they can doing some like the recordings on their practice. So they can submit to me. Let's say I just turn on something like the submissions, the submission buttons. So I can just send a private message to everyone, someone of the friends or enroll the students. So let's say this one, I can just send a message, because this one assignment log, because I just purposely don't want them to submit the assignment. So this is just a normal practice. And then, so next, let's say you want to go for the next, let's say you want more advanced, so that's why I make it another kickstart here. So once they already have familiar, this is what I design the next level. So they're going for the topics, let's say the first order, the first chapter. So I have some introduction, so I can just use the iBook, because this is the first chapter. I'm using the iBooks as a backbone, and then next I just guide the lectures, the lesson according to the iBooks that I have here. So I can just say, okay, this is what I'm going to achieve, the learning outcome. So what is the learning outcome? They have to know what is classify the DE according to the characteristic, PDE or ODE, linear or non-linear. So that is the key things here. And then once I done, they can go for the next level. Let's say they can go for this one. So the separable equation, they have learning outcome. So how to do that? And of course, I can do some questions. I post something question. They can do, allow them to do some discussion. They can do, they can ask me the questions. So it's all already here. So the same thing for the rest of it, because one topic actually basically is one post here actually is referred to one lecture or one lesson. So like this one, linear equation, and of course we have the exact equation and so on. So this is what I have here. So let's say one they already go through, they can go for the tutorial section. Because the tutorial section here, they can do for more advanced techniques on something like the practice. So I provide the tutorial for them to practice. Of course, in the meanwhile, I do some application, because I want them to connect with the things here, the things they learn. So like, let's say this is the application like Newton Coulom's law. So I ask them to read some example, the application, and then how do they interpret the data. So actually it's here. They can download the PDF first. They try to read out first, and then try to do some like the data interpretations. And of course, I can just do some like something like the hot question. I will ask them to like the application, because I want them to connect with what the differential equation they learn and in the actual problem like this one. So let's say the scenario of the crime scene. So because they have the models, they want to know the time. So that's why they can use the equation. They can do something, reconstruct the time about the crime happens. So this is one of the very simple example. And then next, I want them to visualize. So what happened in, let's say you do some graphical input based on the result, and then you can see how different from the temperature drops. So I wanted to see how far they understand I want them to do some like the visualize the Newton Coulomb's law with the pricing. So this is sort of like we help the student to, let's say, oh, this is the way we learn. So this is the iTunes U. So basically this is pretty much about my courses. So actually this is a full courses for all the topics here for the differential equation. So this is this is suitable for the degree student, for all around the university level, or even though in the diploma level. So you can try to explore the rest of this. So it's pretty much same like this one. So you can try to take a look. So I think that's all.